We continue to react to the breaking news. The New York Knicks have fired head coach Tom Thibodeau after leading New York to one of their most successful seasons, their first East Finals in 25 years. Remember, Tibbs led this team to the playoffs in 4 of the 5 years that he coached. He led the Knicks to consecutive 50 or more win seasons for the first time since the 90s. And now we welcome in our Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A., there's a lot of folks on our set today who are pretty surprised and pretty upset, frankly, about this firing. What say you?
They should feel that way. I'm upset about it, too. I don't think this was fair to Tom Thibodeau at all. And I'm somebody that has been very critical of him in terms of his lack of use of his bench, not really prepping guys to really be able to contribute come playoff time, not going deep enough. As Kenny Smith articulated during the NBA playoffs, which I thought was the line of the year, Tibbs would have a hard time playing 9 dudes in a baseball game. That's who he is. But nevertheless, they won 51 games. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals. They improved in the playoffs all 4 years, the last 4 years or so. He has done an incredible job. And when you look at it from the standpoint of him being gone, it's like a scapegoat mentality. I think this is incredibly bad because guess what? You traded 5 picks to get Mikal Bridges. That wasn't on Tom Thibodeau. That was on Leon Rose. That's the name that we need to be talking about right now when a move like this is made. You traded 5 picks, 4 unprotected for Mikal Bridges. You traded Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, okay, along with an additional first-round pick for Karl Anthony Towns. So that's 6 picks right there you gave away. At least 4 unprotected, arguably 5. And I'm looking at it from that standpoint, and we're talking about Tom Thibodeau today being without a job. I think that's unfair. I really, he does not deserve to be fired. This was a bad move as far as I'm concerned by the New York Knicks, especially since you don't have somebody like Ty Lue or Eric Spoelstra out there waiting for you.
Right.
I don't like it at all.
Well, that's what we were sort of talking about. And speaking of Leon Rose, in the Knicks announcement, Leon Rose made a statement, Stephen A., and in it he says, our organization is singularly focused on winning a championship for our fans. I'm curious if you think they're a step closer by doing this, by making this move.
No, they're not a step closer. And to be quite honest with you, I think we all as New Yorkers should find Leon Rose's statement offensive. Get the hell in front of a microphone and a camera and answer questions. Stop being a coward. Because that's how he's acting. I'm not calling him that as a man or as a person. I'm saying that's how he's been acting as president of the New York Knicks when it comes to communicating with the media and articulating the decisions that you make and why they are being made. This is the problem with the arrogance of the New York Knicks, okay? They deserve credit for what they've achieved. I applaud them for elevating us from basketball purgatory into relevance. I truly believe that. But in the same breath, when you make the potpourri of decisions that you have made, could you have the decency to stand before the media and answer the questions? Stand before the growing public and answer the question. That statement is as weak as it gets. It emanates from a James Dolan-run organization who doesn't want to communicate with the media himself, who never wants to answer any questions, and they get away with it because they don't have to answer to anybody because they know that Knicks fans are still going to show up at Madison Square Garden, patronizing their product and their brand, and doing everything that they can to make sure that they support the team. The New York Knicks as an organization know that that's coming. They know that you're going to support the Knicks no matter what Leon Rose does, no matter what James Dolan does, and that's why they get away with acting the way that they're acting. Leon Rose has done a damn good job. Nobody can deny that. But it hasn't been a flawless situation. There are moves that could have been made that could have better positioned the New York Knicks to be in a championship situation, the one that they're craving for now. But it hasn't happened. And then you're going to issue some weak-ass statement like we really care? I don't care about that damn statement. I want to see Leon Rose stand before the camera and justify firing a man that just took you within 2 games of a berth to the NBA Finals right after you decided to trade 5 picks for a guy that never even made an All-Star. I love Mikal Bridges. I love the fact that he's a member of the team. But the fact of the matter is that he has an up and down year. And when you look at a Luka Doncic being acquired for Anthony Davis at just 1 pick, when you look at some other moves that have been made and it didn't require those level of assets departing, and you give up 5 first-round picks, including 4 unprotected for Mikal Bridges, and that vastly contributes to compromising the vision and the aspirations that you have, stand before the media and answer them damn questions. But we can't expect Leon Rose to do that because since James Dolan has arrived, that's not something that he likes, and Leon Rose seems to fit right in. A matter of fact, one could legitimately argue that his willingness to avoid the media to answer these questions is is just as much of a big reason as to why he got the job as it is the job that he actually did, which has been a pretty damn good job.
And without those explicit answers, Stephen A., that you're calling for, the only way that I'm making sense of this in my own head, and I'm wondering what you think of this, is that the Eastern Conference, people are looking around and saying, if the Pacers can do it, then we can too. And the New York Knicks felt like we were this close. So maybe if we make a little change, because we can't change our starting lineup that much, because we have so much invested in all of these players. That's the way that I'm making sense of this. What about you?
I would hope that one of the other reasons this change is being made is because you got a superstar like Giannis Antetokounmpo that wants to come to New York, and he would have desired changes, and he might have articulated that. That's just wishful fantasy kind of thinking on my part. I have no evidence of that whatsoever. I'm just throwing that in the mix to coincide or piggyback off of what you just articulated. Of course, with the start lineup being what it is, there's very little movement that you can do. OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, all of these guys, Jalen Brunson, what he's getting paid. Mikal Bridges, you brought him here. We get that. Mitchell Robinson, obviously, we get that part too. But in the end, if you're stuck, it's because Leon Rose decided to give up all of those assets. And maybe that's a good enough reason for you to go in a different direction from Tom Thibodeau, because we need a different kind of coach, a coach with a different style. Maybe the players articulated that, you know what, we want to hear a new voice as well because we're tired of playing for Tibbs. We don't know definitively whether or not that was the case, but I can tell you in my experience covering the NBA, that's definitely plausible. Still in all, Leon Rose needs to stand before the media and answer them damn questions for the public because the public has a right to know.
Stephen A., I always appreciate your time. Thank you so much for stopping by.